The next question sounds like a bit of a setup. Maybe one of your family members wrote it or something. But would it be The Money in the Prosperous Soul? When's the book coming out? Well, it's out now. And would it be a good book for a church that's feeling the crunch today? And is it in a teachable format for pastors to teach the Prosperous Soul class or that sort of deal?
Yeah, that is the design of the book and the materials. I was hoping that I could lay out my ideas in such a pattern that others could pick it up and just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a
so it's a manual, and this is for individuals, but it's adaptable, you think, to teach a class.
Yeah,
and
it's designed to be both teacher's guide and student guide. And I have a DVD series. If somebody did want to watch me teach the material, you can get the DVD series, and then your class could use the manual. The book is optional with the class, but the way the thing works is the manual walks you through each series and suggests for further study if you choose a certain book chapter, a certain session on my DVD series, and quite a deep bibliography and other books. I recommend some Bill Johnson books and some Chris Valentin things, and just point people at different resources. So it is designed for that.
The next question is about administrating the culture of revival. When you're administrating the culture of revival, how do you balance the sound financial wisdom and the faith of the culture? How do you?
Yeah. I figured out that sometimes, you always have to orient every action toward faith. Faith, I think it's interesting that there are just 2 or 3 things in the Bible that are impossible, even with God. One of which is you can't please Him without faith. It's impossible. There's a couple of others that talk about impossibilities like that, but I think that is such an orienting verse that it's impossible to please God without faith. So every decision has to come out of faith. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me, though, that sometimes that faith, the decision I make out of faith surprises me. It may not always be the storm the gates action or, take everything and invest in this. I find that sometimes it takes me more faith to do nothing than to do something. I found that in particular one time. It was an investment that was really profitable, and I was having trouble deciding whether to get in on this investment. And what I was resisting was greed. I didn't know it at the time, but it was straight up greed. I was watching people prosper, and I didn't have peace about getting into the investment, but I was feeling this pull. And what it turns out later is I recognized it as greed. But at the time, as the Holy Spirit was telling me not to invest in the thing, it took me, when I was resisting it, it took way more faith to not do something than to do something. Mm-hmm. And the not do something in that case was to jump on the bandwagon and move into this investment. Mm-hmm. So it's just I think what I found is that it's interesting how to open up my expectations when I'm asking God what I should do. Open it up and not require or expect God to do what I think is the best. Yes. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. It's like, no, I really genuinely have to ask God, and when He tells me what to do or to do nothing, that's me operating in faith. And sometimes I like the answer and sometimes I don't, but both times it's me submitted to the one that I know does know. I know it up here, and this is the one I have to wrestle with when I'm resisting the answer. But for me, it's faith that overwhelms and overcomes my more natural inclination.